Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I was calling for some advice on how to handle a very financially abusive relationship regarding my mother and father.
Talk me through it.
Okay. The basics are my parents are still together, and I'm in my 30s. It wouldn't be a big deal for me if it was just my mom and dad, but the problem lies with my parents raising the next generation. They actually raised my sister's twin daughters, who are now 10, and I'm terrified that it's going to ruin their upbringing like it kind of did mine.
Well, what's going on? What are they doing?
My mother is financially reckless. I mean, for years, she did prison time for stealing from her employer when I was 16. Once she got out, she took out false loans in my name, my father's name, false grants through the state, and she's just been financially reckless on credit cards in her name and my dad's name, and it's just left them in financial ruin.
Wow. She's not only reckless, she's like a criminal.
She's a toxic human being, yeah.
Wow.
So what does your dad do?
And the problem, well, once he finds out about certain things, he does have a verbal confrontation with her, but he rolls over and pees on himself, basically, and he won't stand up to her. And I think his spirit is just so beat that he won't stand up for himself at all. And I'm just left here as the auntie who's trying to make sure that her nieces don't go through the same situation that I went through as a child.
So you experienced all of these things as a child because she was doing the exact same behavior and he was doing the same behavior. You talked about that twice. How do you think it affected you? Because you sound pretty adjusted to me.
No, well, thank you.
I'm not saying it didn't hurt. I'm not saying it wasn't a problem, but
lots of therapy. There you go.
Was it lots of therapy? Is that what did it?
Therapy helped a lot, removing myself from the toxic situation. My mom kicked me out when I was 17.
Okay.
Right after she got out of prison, because there was a fight between us on, the vehicle situation after she got out. So I had to grow up real fast. I raised my younger sister for the last 4 years of her life.
How does somebody with a criminal record get custody over 2 7-year-olds?
Because it was over 10 years after the fact. So after 10 years, their felony is erased or expunged from their record after 7, I believe.
Okay.
So, and they were in the system. So they went through the process to do parenting classes and become foster parents, and they got custody of the younger two.
So whenever I hear a conversation like this, I always want to ask what feels like an obvious question, but it's only obvious when you're looking from the outside. It's really hard to see on the inside. What of this can you do anything about? And the way you've outlined it, you can't do anything about your mom's behavior. She's been who she's been forever. You can't do anything about your dad's behavior. He's been who he is forever. And
the state has awarded these children.
Right. So what can you actually control here? I guess you could sue for custody if you want to take the 2 girls, or you can have this big, I call it like a William Wallace type speech to your dad, and maybe you'll get through to him, which I can tell you right now you won't. And so I'm wondering,
no, I've already done that.
There you go, right? So what are you looking for? What are you hoping happens?
Maybe some advice on how to proceed, because I know my mom's a lost cause for me. Given our history,
your dad is too.
We're not on speaking terms.
Your dad is too. He's made it.
That's, I guess, the tough pill.
It is. Behavior is a language, and he's told you for the last 20 years he's not interested in your advice or wisdom. And that's really hard to hear, I know. And I'm saying it kind of callously and direct, but he doesn't care what you have to say.
No, he doesn't. It never affects his actions. And I've convinced him 2 or 3 times to leave her. And he's always on board. And he, I have a big house with a basement that him and the girls can move in with me, because I have a 10-year-old too. I have 4 kids. And we have plenty of space for them. And I'm like, Dad, just get away. Just get away. Every time you do this just damages you. It damages your soul. It damages your spirit. It's affecting those girls. And you're teaching them and conditioning them that this is okay behavior. And it's not. And it took me years to figure that out myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should just wash my dad off and be like, Daddy, I love you. You're my favorite person in the whole world, but I cannot.
I don't know that you wash him. I don't know that you wash him. I don't know that you wash your hands of him. He's still your dad, but
he is. He's my favorite human being.
You might quit trying to fix him.
Yeah, you live in reality.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I was asking for, is just maybe a secondary opinion on looking at this from the outside and telling me I'm doing everything I can the right way and there's no fixing them because they don't want to be fixed.
Exactly.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's really
one of
tough.
the hardest things in adulthood is that other adults are allowed to misbehave and you can't make them not. If they called here, I can hang up on them and move on to the next one. But but I can't make them. I can't make them go on and do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I wish they would, because I know what would happen if they did change, and I know that this can be fixed. I know that the power of God in their life, for instance, could intersect either your mom, dad, or both, and in a matter of months, I've seen people change their whole households. And then they seek out the therapy to finish the work, and they do all the stuff they need to do. But my grandmother used to say, those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still. And so that you're just barking at a brick wall is what you're telling us. I mean, so I think you pray for them. And I think if you ever think of someone that might speak into their life that they might listen to, because it's not you, that you send that person over there. If there's an uncle or a cousin or someone that they admire or a pastor that they say they like, have them speak into it, because maybe they have a foothold, maybe they have a toehold of credibility. But
and you might write your father a letter and just call it my last letter, right? And I'm still going to love you. I just need you to see in writing, you always have an open door at my house.
Yeah.
And maybe when you start talking and start lecturing him, he shuts you off like he shuts off his wife. That's just his default setting. But maybe around the glow of the refrigerator at 11 o'clock at night when all the other lights are off in the house, he reads that letter and he exhales and says, I'm going to go.
I wish that would happen.
I know. And are you married?
Reach out to. I am married. I'm happily married.
So have you and your husband talked about taking in the two girls? Is that a possibility?
I was married before when they were born to my ex-husband, and having a new baby ourselves, he refused to let me take the twins in because they were drug addicted. They were in the NICU, and he refused to let me take them in. But what I did is I raised them in the form of daycare until they went to kindergarten.
Okay, but what about right now?
Right now, no, they're in school.
No, would you take them if they would let you?
100%.
Okay, make that offer in the letter then.
There you go. Yeah, maybe make that offer and say we would love to let them grow up around their cousins and take that burden from you guys.
Yeah, you guys deserve to be free in your retirement years.
There you go.
And that'd be an interesting thing to see happen. But yeah, I think you're right. You just got to lay it out there.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. We don't do grief well in this culture.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.